Hey, everybody, welcome back to Onstage, Offstage. I'm your host, George Sapio, and this is episode number 180, August of 2024. Our guest this month is Alicia Ana Hernandez-Roulet, and we'll be presenting her short play, Silver Linings, to be followed by an interview with the playwright herself. So, hey, stick around. Silver Linings by Alicia Ana Hernandez-Roulet. The actors are Caridad de Valle as the mother and Fiona Maria as her daughter. At Rise, Mother is putting Daughter's clothes into a suitcase. Daughter is taking them right back out again.
Hey, now we gotta get you packed up.
I don't want to go.
I know, baby. I don't want to go either, but we have to.
Abuela's house always smells stinky like her perfume and old oil in a frying pan.
I bet she'll make you some sorullitos if you ask nicely.
Her TV is so old it doesn't have any apps on it. It has like 4 channels.
It'll be good to take a break from screen time. You can go to the library and get out all the books you want.
And she has it on all day long with telenovelas.
Maybe you can pick up some more Spanish.
They're so dramatic. It's unrealistic.
I'm sure you can't relate to that at all. Please, help me pack your bag.
I don't want to start a new school.
I bet you'll make some real great friends.
And what if I do? Then I'll have to leave them when you get back. And what if everyone from my school now forgets about me?
Who could forget you?
You won't forget me, will you?
Come here. I could never, ever forget you.
I don't want you to leave.
I know, but I have to.
Because your sickness is back again?
That's right, baby. I need to get well.
What if it's like last time? You went away and then you were better for a little, but then it came back.
I'm going to a really, really good doctor this time. That's why you're going to be with your abuela for a longer time. It's a special treatment.
You're going to get better for good this time?
I really hope so.
Mama, am I going to get sick too?
No, baby, it's not contagious. You're not gonna get sick.
I heard Daddy and his girlfriend saying it runs in the family.
He shouldn't be talking about it in front of you.
Is it cancer?
No, baby, it's not cancer. Please, help me pack your bag.
I'm not going. You can't make me. You can't leave. I don't want you to go.
Dios mío. I don't want to go. I have to go. We have to pack your suitcase right now, or I'm going to miss my flight.
Why can't you just see a doctor here?
I can't be here. I need to leave.
You hate me.
I love you. That's why I have to go.
That doesn't make any sense.
Ugh. Come here. Let's count together, okay? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10. Te amé antes y te amaré después. Tell me how you're feeling.
I don't know.
Tell me what you feel in your body.
My stomach hurts, and my hands feel grabby.
Are you scared?
Yes.
What are you scared about?
I'm scared of the noises Abuela makes at night.
The praying and the snoring? I get it. What else?
I'm scared about starting a new school.
New place, new people. I get it. What else?
I'm scared I won't know the things they're studying, and everyone will think I'm stupid.
But you know you're not stupid, and the teachers can always tell. What else?
I'm scared Abuela is going to pack me Puerto Rican food for lunch, and the other kids will make fun of me.
I'll tell her to pack you peanut butter and jelly. What else?
I'm scared Daddy is going to marry his new girlfriend.
Is it that serious?
I'm scared she doesn't like me.
I'm sure she loves you. How could she not?
I'm scared we'll never be a family again.
We'll always be a family no matter what. Girlfriend or wife or what have you. I'm always your mom. And your dad, it's always your dad.
I'm scared the treatment won't work this time.
I'm scared of that too.
I'm scared I'm going to get the sickness.
I'm scared of that too.
I'm scared you're gonna die.
I'm not going to die.
I thought you were that one night.
I know.
You wouldn't wake up.
I feel pain in my heart. I feel hot in my head. I feel cold on my spine. I feel itchy in my skin. I feel sick in my stomach. I feel grabby in my hands.
Are you scared?
I am.
What are you scared about?
I'm scared that I've been a bad mom to you. I'm scared that I scarred you for life. I'm scared that you'll never forgive me and that I'll never forgive myself for that night and all of the other times I let you down. I'm scared you'll get sick too. I'm scared that it's because of me. I'm scared the treatment won't work because the last one didn't. But I'm not going to die, baby. I'm not going to leave you. I'm doing my best to get better so I can be there for you. I'm going to work so hard on my treatment. I'm going to get so healthy you won't even recognize me when I get back.
You promise you won't forget me?
I promise. I have an idea. Hold on. Pick up your shoes. We're going to paint our toenails the same, so whenever we look down at them, we're really looking at each other, okay?
Okay.
Let's think one positive thing to look forward to for each toenail we paint.
Okay.
Número uno. When I get better, I'm going to get a real job. Okay, now you. Número dos.
When you get better, we'll be able to spend more time together.
Número tres. When you are with your abuela, she'll make you chicharrones.
Número cuatro. When I'm with Abuela, she'll let me stay up late.
Not too late.
What are you going to do about it?
Número cinco. When I get back, it will be close to your birthday, and I'm going to throw you the biggest party you've ever seen.
Número seis. I'll have twice as many friends to invite because I'll have my friends from my old school and my new school.
Número siete. When I get back, I'm going to cook real dinners, not more McDonald's.
Número ocho. Except we will still get McFlurries after the park.
Deal. Número nueve. When I get back, I'm going to be there for you every day and every night, no matter what.
Número diez. I love you, Mom.
I love you too. Now you see your sparkle toes? Anytime you miss me, you just look down and know that I'm thinking about you and loving you and working so hard to get well so I can come home to you.
And when you see your toes, you won't forget me.
Never, ever. Now let's pack this bag and get you to your abuelas.
That was Silver Linings by Alicia Ana Hernandez-Roulet. The actors were Caridad Devalle as the mother and Fiona Maria as her daughter. The first question I had for Alicia was, why was she less than specific about her characters' descriptions? I want to talk to you about this wonderful play, Silver Linings. And from the first moment I read it, I was kind of knocked on my seat for this one because it's a duologue between a mother and a daughter, and there's so much undefined about these two characters, which there's no names, there's no ages. So, yes, we can probably cast who knows who and have a lot of flexibility with that. But I wondered why that was deliberate, because I'm thinking of the age of the young girl. I mean, if she were 8, it's one thing. If she's 13, that's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, where were you when you wrote this? I mean, did you leave so much unspecified?
I wanted to leave a lot of it open-ended because I wanted it to be a little more universal and to be more inclusive of people's stories. I also never specified what the mother is going in, what the treatment that she's seeking, because I wanted it to be more open. I wrote it personally because I'm newly a mother to a daughter who will be 2 in August.
Yay, good for you.
Yay! So family and mother-daughter relationships have definitely been taking center stage on my works that I've been writing recently. And this story is really personal to me because I have struggled with addiction. So that's the story that I had in mind. But for multiple reasons, I wanted it to, 1, be more open-ended for people who have other experiences, and 2, where I think that it's hard to talk about. So the fact that they never say addiction, that, we never talk directly at it, that there's, this soft language that we use around it. I think that also is an experience that a lot of people have had.
That is an extremely difficult thing to deal with. Dealing with addiction is difficult for the person originally. I mean, there's just so much wrong with your life at this particular point, and you're worried about getting through and letting yourself down and letting others down, and there's so much wrapped up in this. But she's got a child, and she's got a child who is able to reason. She's got a child who is able to argue with her successfully. How hard was it for you to write this play? Did you have difficulty with it?
It came to me easily on the page, but I brought it to my local playwriting group. I'm part of the Indiana Playwright Circle, and I worked up a lot of pieces. And hearing it read out loud, even in a cold read, like I was sobbing in my seat because I felt like it hit me so much more that way. Everything came out that I wanted to come out, where to me it was really about how these characters do love each other. There's such an intense love, and this mother is a good mother. Even though she's going through something hard, I've gone through depression and anxiety and addiction. And I feel like in those moments, there's a lot of things and people that might be telling you that you're a bad person, but you're not a bad person.
This happens to good people. It just happens to be who you are, where you are, and that makes a big difference. And you can see the battle that she's dealing with, trying to get her kid to pack a suitcase so she can go off to Abuela's, and she's going to be leaving a child. But the moments that you throw in here, especially with let's count and let's do our toenails, let's talk about that, because those are absolutely magic moments.
The counting came from a couple places. It comes from a technique that I've worked on with my own anxiety of taking a moment to pause and breathe, and using counting exercises and breathing exercises to calm down. And it's something that I'm working on with my daughter, who's almost 2. And, she's starting to get into some big tantrums. And just counting to 10 together really helps bring it down a notch. So I wanted to have those like real tools, coping strategies as part of the play. And then the painting of the toenails is kind of where the play started. There was a submission opportunity for a play festival with the theme of silver linings. And the first idea that kind of came to me was, what if it's both literal and spiritual? What if there's a physical silver lining in addition to the silver lining of the story? And so I started thinking about what could the silver lining be? And I thought about nail polish. And then I thought, how does the nail polish become meaningful? And I thought that's a way that you can connect to a person when you're not with them anymore. That's a visual that you can take with you where if I paint my nails with you, even when we're not together, I look at it and I'm thinking about you because you were there when I did it.
I absolutely loved that moment. The thing about this play that got me the most was, how much truth do you tell?
Right.
And I'm thinking back to the mother and the daughter here, and you've got a young child who's going to be growing up and going to be wanting to be taken seriously, and you're going to have these moments where how much truth are you going to tell her? It's a parent question, you know. How much truth can you tell her? At what age, and what are they ready for? And how much are you willing to trust them?
Right. And I think that's the kind of truths that are hard to say out loud. The things that are hard to say out loud is definitely something that I explore in my work a lot, because I think about it all the time. We have different relationships, different comfort levels. I think I'm a person who's always sort of assessing who I'm talking with and how open can I be. And there's, these things that we have deep inside, and does it feel good to get them out? How do we get them out? It's scary to say those things out loud sometimes. It's really scary.
Absolutely, yes.
And I do think about it, what my relationship will be with my daughter, and those things, what do I tell her? At what level? How truthful am I going to be? And I want her to be truthful with me, so then I feel like I have to reciprocate it.
Your artistic statement, there's a part in there that I'd like to read, and I'd like to talk about this because it's perfect. Playwriting is a medium that has allowed me to understand the world around me and convey my experience in it. It's about taking the personal and distilling it to the universal. And I just love that last sentence. These are stories. We tell stories to each other. And theater, we put those stories up on stage and we play and we go, yay. But unless we tell a truth that somebody else can sympathize with, recognize, we have to get into them somehow. So taking your personal life and distilling it, as a playwright, and distilling it to the universal. How do you go about doing that?
I think it has to start with something really personal. Like in Silver Linings, I chose to make these characters have Puerto Rican heritage because I'm half Puerto Rican, and I wanted to imbibe it with a little bit of Spanish, enough to give the flavor, but not so much, to alienate audiences who wouldn't understand what they're saying. But, little flavors there came from my real life. But I think that even if you don't know anything about Puerto Rican culture, don't know all of the words that they're saying, don't know the foods that they're describing, I think that everyone can kind of hearken to their own past and their own things that are special that their grandmother would make for them, their own, little quirks in their families. And so when it comes from that real place, I think that it makes people really go into their own history.
There are so many more universal truths that I think we're willing to acknowledge at this particular point. Food is usually one of them. You can reach almost anybody with food. Speaking of which, for the audience, okay, and for myself, because I probably have a follow-up question to this. To you, what are chicharrones?
Chicharrones to me are like little fried bites of pork meat.
Okay, when you say
I think you can have chicharrones of other kinds of meats, but in Puerto Rico, like if you order chicharrones, you're going to get some fried pork.
Okay, because that's what I'm familiar with. The town I live in supposedly is the one place in the world where you get the best chicharrones. And that would be hard to doubt. But the last time I visited the States, somebody had them on the menu. This brewery had them on the menu, and I was like, great, taste of home, yay, terrific, I'm going to get them. I got pork rinds.
Oh.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. I was like,
either.
Yeah, they brought it over. I was like, what's this? You made the wrong order. She says, no, these are chicharrones. I was like, no, they isn't. But, okay. All right, just checking, because, things are different in different places. When you say playwriting is a medium that has allowed me to understand the world around me and to convey my experience in it, I'm looking at plays you've written like Gender Reveal.
Yeah.
And to go to completely absurd end of this, Captain America and the Right Wing Squad, which that's gone up recently, and we'll talk about that in a minute, or has gone up. Like I said, I'd love to either be the costume designer or the set designer for this one, because it's just weird. In a very good way, by the way. How do you understand the world? How do you explain the world through work like this?
Captain America came about around the time where in the news we were having abortion rights repealed and dialed back by the Supreme Court. And there were also stories about the Supreme Court justices receiving bribes. And sometimes the news gets overwhelming for me. I've had to dial back my consumption of it, honestly, since being a mom, because it affects my mood so much. And it was one of those things where it's like, I have to laugh to keep myself from crying, where I was like, this is so absurd that let me make it even more absurd, and let me, take it to the nth degree. And what happens if there's a brigade of right-wing superheroes and they're really gung-ho with these ideas that are so contrary to my own ideas, but they think they're doing the right thing, and they're going to do it so hard, was a way to kind of make myself laugh about it, to work through it. Because otherwise it's like despair.
Playwriting is therapy.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, for you and for me as well. Because I've written from the same place. There's just so much stuff on the news that I'm addicted to the news. I can't stop looking at it, but I try to stop looking at it. Every time I do, it's okay, I need to write something else. I need to write something to cheer me up, or I need to write something that skewers this idiocy that's being pumped at me. Let's turn this around just a little bit. You have chickens.
I do have chickens. I live in Indiana, and in Indianapolis. So it is a city, but I live in this really charming, wonderful neighborhood where a lot of people keep backyard chickens. And I never thought I would be one to do so myself. But when I was walking around the neighborhood and I would see them and hear them, I just started chatting with a neighbor, and I was like, I kind of am interested. And one day she called me and she was like, I have someone, she's got a coop with 3 chickens and she's looking to get rid of them. Do you want them? And I was like, let's do it. Let's bring them home.
Did you know anything about raising chickens before this?
I did not. But luckily I have 2 friends who are very experienced chicken keepers. So they kind of helped me get into it. And this, like many other things, worked its way into my writing, where I wrote a play called Death of a Chicken that was about my personal experience where one of the original chickens that I brought home died. And it was really hard for me because to me, it was a pet, for a lot of other people, it's like livestock. But to me, I had only ever had dogs. So I was really upset by the death. And then by bizarre coincidence, the way things happen in the world, the very next day, there was a shooting in downtown Broad Ripple, which is close to me. These 2 things just felt very connected, even though they weren't. I was like kind of trying to process them at the same time, where the shooting felt harder to wrap my head around because they don't name who the victims are. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. And then this chicken was here in my backyard, but it's just a chicken. But I knew her and I loved her and I gave her a name, and it was my responsibility to take care of her. So like trying to work through these different proximities to death, where it's like there's this huge weight of multiple people who have died violently by gun violence versus a bird that most people wouldn't care. I have, 5 frozen chicken breasts in my refrigerator right now, but grief hits you in different ways.
It does. And how do you equate what's going on in the world you cannot control with the little world that you can control?
Exactly.
And it's not just a chicken, and people are going to laugh at this. I don't really care. Chickens have souls. Chickens have identities. Chickens are living beings.
Absolutely. She was my little buddy.
Yeah. I'm 98% vegetarian. I have been known to cheat every once. I will eat chicharrones. I will tell you this. I will have a chicharrone, okay? But it's difficult to equate things that run around and look at you and make noise and live, and then things on your plate, and it's kind of, let's talk about what else.
Your hamburger play.
Burgers? Oh, you read that, huh? That was actually a mostly true story. A friend of mine, an actor from 40 years ago, was telling me about an audition he went. And this was not far from the truth.
That is funny.
Oh, I almost gave up meat right there and then that day. Let's talk about what else you've got going on here, besides Silver Linings, which is wonderful.
Yeah, so I just had a production of Captain America at the Civic Theater of Greater Lafayette. And coming up at the end of August, I have Zoltan is going to be produced at the Minneapolis Short Play Festival.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I'm a Midwest playwright, and Minneapolis is not that close, but in the Midwest, 8 hours in the car,
Yeah, it's nothing. Minneapolis is a great town for theater, though.
Oh, yeah.
I played the Cincinnati Fringe a number of years ago and met so many theater groups from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Cincinnati.
It's a bit of a theater mecca out there, so that's great. Good for you. That's wonderful. Alicia Ana Hernandez-Roulet, it has been so good to talk to you, and I am so happy for you, and I'm so glad you sent in Silver Linings because we had a ball taping it, and I hope you enjoy listening to it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, George. Thanks so much.
Hey kids, thanks for listening to Onstage Offstage. Onstage Offstage is produced monthly, and all of our shows can be found at onstageoffstage.org and also on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and Google Podcasts. If you enjoy what we do, please recommend us to your friends. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at OnOffStage. And if you are a theater artist with an upcoming project or interest, or know of someone in the theater world who'd make good chat, by all means, send us a note at onstageoffstagepodcast@gmail.com. Our theme music is Don't Worry, Be Frappy by the composer Max Dickinson. You can find a lot more of Max's magnificent music on SoundCloud. I'm George Sapio. Thanks once again for listening, and please be kind to those with whom we share this rock. And as always, happy theatering to all of you.